look back, and there is, a lot of good things have happened in Lakeview, and still continuing. Dealership was founded in 1914 by Ralph and Clifford Bollinger.
Bollinger at that time paid his employees in silver dollars, and it was a dollar's worth a dollar. That particular silver dollar is worth about, probably $25 today. This one.
So was it $1 a week, $1 a day?
That was actual dollar. I don't know if they made, if their wages, if they made $30, they got 30 of those.
I worked there 51 years before we were terminated.
I did everything in the newspaper except run the press. I couldn't do that.
But you wrote the articles and edited.
Yeah, got the ads and folded the papers and drove to different towns to deliver the papers. A busy place.
Well, before Pickle Docks, there was a big lumber place.
Before the Pickle Docks.
And this was where the Bird Electric was in the Pickle Docks. It was a sawmill, big one. M&B Mills. This was Macomber and Bale.
There was another industry that is now gone, but High-Q Industries up in the north end of town. And one of the ones that prospered is Parker Hannifin.
Oh, yes.
Parker Hannifin was a kind of a feather in our hat when they lured that company here to Lakeview.
And they looked to pay the town over because we had a good school, good bank, everything was just right for them. So they moved to Lakeview.
When I worked there, I would come before the green stock, before the pickles were actually being harvested. And so they'd be sending out all this that had been put into the year before. So you'd take them out of the vats and put them in a wheelbarrow and dump them in these crates.
Okay.
And then you take the crates and set them up in a semi. That's where I pick them up. I get all in my hands. And killed my poor hand.
We had to hire Mexicans come to pick the pickles from the fields because they could stand the heat, and we didn't have anybody that could do that. So the Mexicans came and they built a little house for them to stay in when they were there, and they picked the pickles that went into the Pickle Docks.
Came us loaded semi trucks loaded with cucumbers. It was a big business. Well, at that time, Heinz had taken over from the original owner named John Bale, and when Heinz bought it, they tripled the capacity of the cucumber business that were here in Lakeview.
But there was a lot of people worked there, and then of course once the real harvest started, there was a lot of people working.
Sure, it would have been busy.
It was busy. Men and women. There was a lot of them in there. The women did most of the sorting. They sort out the bigger pickles and the little ones. And when you'd walk onto them, you'd probably be about the top of this level up in here.
Okay.
They'd be up above it. Now, you could look down below and you'd see the ground. And then they'd fill those big old round barrels, they'd fill those with cucumbers, and then they'd put in the brine, and then you put a cover on top, and then you test the brine. And there was a lot of it. You fill one up with green stuff, and then you move to the next one. And they put them on a conveyor. And the conveyor would put the cucumbers into those. You'd be up above, and then of course when you'd clean them out, and I'm sure today they wouldn't let you do it. You know what you can't do today with all that brine out of those barrels? Because they had cleaned them out? You couldn't put it out in the lake. But guess what they did at that time? They knock a big old bung out of the bottom, and all that would go out and it'd flow on the ground, and guess where it went?
Into the lake.
Into Tamarack Lake.
You had salt water right in the
Salt
middle of
water
Michigan.
We had salt water in Lakeview, just like the ocean. Salt water in Tamarack Lake, and there was the area out beyond the pickle docks there wasn't much growing there.
Oh, sure.
It was clear.
Yeah, I came into town. I was gone for the morning this day. I never remember it now. Came at the house and looked out of the lake, and there was a brownish foam on the lake, about 3 or 4 inches thick, all the way from the Pickle Docks area, the south shore, all the way out to the island. Whoa! What's happening here? I was very much fond of the lake and what it meant for this community. So I got some water samples and some samples in the jars from this foam. Called the health department, called the Environmental Protection Agency, and they came right up and did their investigation, found that it was the pickle docks at fault. Nutrients, nitrogen, potash, potassium, phosphorus. That's what you use for fertilizer. Fertilizer that was coming into the lake.
And the village was instrumental in getting that exchange all put together and luring Burns Electric to Lakeview. And I'm just amazed at the number of cars down there and how that, with the removal of the pickle docks, how you can see the lake that we haven't seen in years, you know, and we've heard from different advisors that, you know, Lakeview should feature their lake, the lake, Tamarack Lake, is a big asset to Lakeview that never up until just recently has been really explored and developed. You know, they blacktop the Lake Drive now and things of this sort, which is bringing the lake into perspective.
Well, when I came here in 1957, and there were three doctors at that time, and I was fortunate to meet and be part of the group when Dr. Kelsey was still alive and seeing some patients.
I lived close enough to the hospital, and I was going to have a baby. I could walk over there.
Well, I delivered probably close to 1,000 babies, obstetrics, living babies. That was probably the most enjoyable part of my practice.
Yeah,
So I had
both my
boy,
sons
5
were born
girls.
in Kelsey Hospital.
My girls skated on Thanksgiving Day. They'd go out and skate till they froze, you know, and come in, get warm, and go back out and skate again.
Grady Hills out there, it was, yes, that's, glad you mentioned that because that was up and flying in my early days in the 60s. I was on ski patrol out there until they dissolved Brady Hills, and our ski patrol then moved to Crystal Mountain up at Thompsonville. And our funds that the ski patrol had was given to Crystal Mountain, and many of our patrolmen went up and skied there, and they have their names engraved on plaques up there in their patrol room. So, but I know they used to have dances out there on the island, did they not?
They had boxing up there too.
I remember I used to hear your boat. I'd hear roar up, Doc's out practicing with his daughter. You'd hear it going, and he cleared. You know how this lake is quite weedy? Over where he did his motoring, there was no weeds. You cleared because you would that big old boat of yours. You cleared because you used it over and over and over. The weeds were gone.
Yeah, I could go right through the weeds.
Oh yeah, he cleaned them up.
When you went to the movie theater, you could get a free glass, beautiful glass to take home.
Really?
I don't remember that either. I remember going to the Lake Theater.
Yeah, we roller skated
In the gym.
in the gym.
Yes, we did that. Yeah.
I guess what makes me smile is I live by the lake and there's always something to see. All day long there's something to see.
Well, one thing, I walk down the street and I know a lot of people, and they're all, not all, but most of them are pretty friendly. I go in the different stores and give them a little tough time.
I like the laid-back atmosphere of Lakeview. You know, people